Mrs. 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐫, thank you very much for the invitation to join you today, and most of all for your inspired leadership in a very, very noble cause. In late 1942, as the momentum in the war against Germany shifted to the Allies' favor, Winston Churchill gave a speech, and he characterized the time as the end of the beginning. In today's Iran, this is not the end of the beginning, or even the beginning of the end. This is the end of the ending for the religious dictatorship. What we saw in January was a revolution involving all sectors of Iranian society. For me, seeing the merchant class, seeing the bazaar turn on the regime was very meaningful. I'm a student of Arab history, and that was always a telltale indicator that the regime was doomed. If you lose the bazaar, you lose your power. And I think that has spelled the end to this murderous, corrupt, and incompetent regime. Revolutions are very messy things. They very seldom unfold in a single direction. They're characterized by episodes of hope and despair. And I think at this time, today's Iran, the quest for freedom, hope has never been more in evidence. How can I be sure that this is the end of the regime? Well, I think there are two reasons. First, the Iranian people, the strength and determination that the people have shown, their willingness to make the ultimate sacrifices for their future and for their freedom. It is a price that the people of Iran are ready to pay. They have lost all hope of reform. They have lost all hope of peaceful change. And the second reason is, quite frankly, that the mullah's regime, as Mrs. 𝐟𝐨𝐫𝐫 said, cannot change. It cannot reform. The killings, the arrests, the torture, the executions, this is the very DNA of this regime. It is through these barbaric actions that they survive. The end will only come with the overthrow of the regime by the Iranian people. This is a revolution of and by the Iranian people. It is led by the people and the organized resistance on the ground. This is not regime change imposed by external factors or external actors. This is not Iran in 1953. This is not Iraq in 2003. This is not about reestablishing a corrupt and discredited monarchy. The Iranian people are prepared to move to a democratic republic. This is not a failed state like Libya. Iran has been a nation for over 5,000 years. The people are ready to end this nightmarish chapter in the history of Persia. The people are demanding their freedom. Let me read from an op-ed, from an opinion piece by the Wall Street Journal, a journal that entitles the piece, "The Deal in Iran is Regime Change." And this is a significant change for the editorial of the Wall Street Journal. In it, I will just read this short passage. "There is a better way for President Trump. Help the protesters, topple the Ayatollah and his enforcers. Don't crush the Iranian people's hopes. Give them confidence to keep pushing against a regime that has no answer but bullets to any of their problems. If Iran's revolutionary regime fails, the whole region gets better." As to the steps that we can take, I think it's very important that we do what we've heard other speakers mentioned. We need, of course, to support the notion that Iran and the resistance, the legitimate resistance in Iran, will bring about peaceful change, fundamental change that will reflect well, not just in the region, but beyond. We need to recognize the right of the Iranian people to overthrow the mullahs. We need to accept and move forward with political steps. We need to close embassies. We need to kick the regime out of Europe. We need to impose even more severe economic sanctions. We need to cut off the oil. We need to cut off the banking and financial aspects of their presence in Europe and beyond. We need to ensure that the people on the ground have access to the internet. We need to ensure that the United States can move forward as necessary to assist those on the street. I'm not known for my optimism, as you can probably tell from my remarks, but I do believe that we are at a fundamental turning point, that the future is bright for the opposition, that the future is bright for those who have fought long and hard for decades for the freedom of Iran. And let's pray that next year at this time, we can say that we were right, that the regime is gone, and that democracy and human rights prevail in Iran. Thank you all very much.